So yeah, welcome to this Pilates session. You're in my lounge with me now. I'm just going to get close to the camera. Hi Catherine. Oh great, thank you for telling me you can hear me. I think I've got a couple of minutes till 7 o'clock. If you're, well, for those of you that are watching now, if you've not got a Pilates or a yoga mat, it's not a problem. You can do this on the carpet or wherever. Obviously a hard floor isn't so good, but if you have a bath towel, then just grab that if you want to, because that's sort of the size of a Pilates mat. So, but it doesn't really matter if you're on carpet. It's great when you're at home. Nobody can see you either, so it doesn't matter what you're wearing. Even if you're doing this in the nude, it's fine. It doesn't matter. So much more relaxed than a normal class, obviously. So I think it's about 1 minute to 7. So I'll give it another minute. I am recording this as well, so we will post it on the page afterwards. Okay. But it's really strange actually doing this, because although I can see the little notes people are typing, you can't talk to me. I'm used to people talking to me, so I'm just here nattering on to myself, which feels quite crazy. But it's been a gorgeous day out there today. Sun's out there now. Lovely blue sky, although it's a bit windy. So let's just hope that this weather keeps up, because I don't like the rain. When we have the rain, I don't like it. I know we need it for the garden, but it's not my cup of tea. Right, well I think, oh hi Michelle. I think we're sort of bang on 7 o'clock now, so I'm just going to jump up and start. So, as you can see, I'm a completely normal person. I'm not a super fit fitness instructor. I recently trained to be a Pilates instructor, but I've been doing Pilates for about 12 years myself. And when my teacher, Caroline Skinner, said that she was going to start training instructors, I was telling everybody what a brilliant idea and what a nice little business it would be, never thinking that I would do it myself. And then one day, chatting to some runners, I had a light bulb moment and decided to train to be a Pilates instructor and teach myself. And then we went into lockdown. So, but classes will start after lockdown. Not exactly sure when, but they will. I'm just going to move my mat back because I don't think you can see my mat. Right, you can see my feet now, so I'm hoping, guys, that this is a good position for you. So with Pilates, it's all about control. It's about focusing on the exercises that you're doing. So it's really good for your mental health, because you don't have to think of anything else that's going on around you. And we work in what we call neutral spine. So I'm going to explain that to you now. But before we go into neutral, if you're on a mat or a towel or a carpet, what I want you to do is actually implant your big toe, your little toe and your heel into your mat or your carpet. Okay. So just rock backwards and forwards a couple of times with soft knees, legs hip width apart, and try and implant those 3 points, big toe, little toe and heel, into the carpet or mat or whatever you stood on. So if you were stood on a beach, you'd actually be able to see where those 3 points were, okay, because that gives us some balance. And now we're going to go into neutral spine. So I'm going to show you this from the side. So, feet firmly planted in. Neutral spine is in the middle of a backwards and a forwards move, basically. So instead of sticking your bottom out, which a lot of dancers do and people that wear high heels, or having your hips forward, you're somewhere in the middle. So as you can see, I sort of put my hands there and I can sort of feel that's not neutral, but that is. You've still got a curve to your spine. And a good way to check if you're in neutral is to get your 2 fingers on each hand and put them either side of your tummy button and then cough. And when you feel that big muscle contract, you know that you're in neutral spine. Okay, so we're in neutral and we're going to start our warm-up now. I meant to say this is about a 30-minute session. It's the first live session I've done actually, so bear with me. So we're in neutral spine. You put your shoulder blades down towards your back pocket and stand straight. Okay, knees slightly softened, and we're going to start working our neck flexor muscles down the side. We're going to stretch those to start off. So if you do right ear to right shoulder, and back to the middle, and Pilates is all about fluid movements, it's not rushing anything. Okay, right ear to right shoulder, to the middle, left ear to left shoulder. Can you feel that stretch in your neck? I certainly can, and I practice Pilates pretty frequently actually nowadays. So, but it really gives a good stretch to that neck muscle. And from here we're going to move a step further on, and we're going to look over our shoulders in a second. So let's finish with left to left and back to the middle. And now what I want you to do is look over your right shoulder. So you're not moving your body, guys, you're just moving your head, okay, and giving a little bit of a twist, some rotation to the neck and the head. Okay, did you know your head weighs about the same as your pelvis? Just a little fact that I picked up when I was doing my Pilates training. Look over your right shoulder, back to the middle, and your left shoulder, and back to the middle. And the other thing we need to think about is pulling our tummy button in towards our spine. So there's a lot to remember here, isn't there? 3 points on the foot planted into the ground, pulling your tummy button in towards your spine, shoulder blades down to your back pocket, and your neutral spine. So we're thinking about all of those at the same time. Okay, so we've done some head exercises, and we've sort of stretched these muscles here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do some shoulder rolls. So we're just going to roll back a few times, and then we're going to roll forward in a minute. So we're just starting to warm up the upper back now, as well as the shoulder joints. Okay, so hopefully you'll soon feel yourself warming up. Now let's go forward. Okay, so a few shoulder rolls forward. Okay, so you can see it's a really easy movement. It's not jerky. I never know what other word to use apart from jerky. And now we're going to go into shoulder. We're going to bring our shoulders up towards our ears and then down. And again, we're not bringing them up and dropping them. We're bringing them up and we're controlling the movement. Okay. And don't forget, you're holding your tummy button in towards your spine at the same time, and you're staying in neutral spine. So let's just do a couple more of those, and then we're going to move on to the arms. Okay, up and down. So I want you to bring your arms out to the side now, guys. Don't have them high and don't have them low. They need to be sort of parallel, so you're almost like a letter T with a head on it. And we're going to do what I call airplane arms, which are really arm circles. So we're just going to take our arms and do tiny little circles, as though you're drawing an O with your fingers, okay? Just tiny little arm circles. That's great, you're doing fantastic. I can just tell. I know I can't see you, but I can tell. Great job. So carry on with those, and then in a minute we're going to take them and go backwards, okay? So just tiny little circles. Are you keeping your tummy button pulled into your spine? Brilliant. Now let's take them back, okay? And keeping your arms out, don't let them drop. Make sure your shoulder blades are still down towards your back pockets as well. Okay, and this is keeping you in neutral spine. Still soft knees, yep. Okay, so if we stop there, and now we're going to make ourselves into a letter H. And we're going to use just our hands to push our arms up. So I want you to sort of stiffen your hands really, and if you can, sort of think about those tricep and bicep muscles in the top of your arm and try and sort of switch them on, I guess is the word that we would say. So we're just going up and then down, and of course when you're coming down, you're not dropping them down, you're really controlling how you're bringing your arms down. Now I can feel this now in the top of my arms. So I'm guessing that you can too. So really well done, and just carry on. We've just got a couple more of those. Okay, so there's one, there's two. So bring your arms down, okay? And now we're going to do some wrist circles. So I just want you to circle your wrists. So we're starting to warm up all of our joints. We've done our neck, we've done our shoulder joints, we've sort of done a little bit on the upper back, we've done our arms, and now we're doing our wrist joints. Okay, so just gently move those around. Okay, and now we're going to jump down and use our feet. We're not going to jump down actually, we're moving down to our feet. So I just want you to step through your ankle joints. Now for those of you that are on Run Talk Run, because you've started to run or you are a runner as well as a talker, we neglect our feet and our ankles very often, so this is really good. Okay, just to start lubricating the joints in your ankles. Okay, so we're just walking through those. For those of you that don't know what Run Talk Run is, it's something that was set up, I think, nationally, and there's a guy called Nick, Nicholas Jackson, who runs Run in Redditch, and it's a brilliant group. Really good for your physical health and your mental health. Okay, so now we're going to do a tiny bit of balance. So feet back on the mat. Make sure they are only hip width apart and not too wide, else you'll struggle with this. Because what we're going to do, we're just going to lift one foot up, okay, in the air. Doesn't have to be really high, it's just as high as you can get it. And if you want to put your hands out to help balance, that's great. And down. And the other foot. Balance is something lots of people struggle with, certainly I do. And that's why it's really good to get those two toes and your heel planted into your mat or your carpet. So right foot up. We're just going to do 2 more of these. Okay, and then we're going to do some mat exercises. Right foot in the air. And good for the muscles in the leg that you're standing on as well. So what we're going to do now, we're going to roll down. Now when you roll down, I want you to imagine you've got a peach under your chin. So although you tuck your chin in, you don't tuck it in too far, otherwise you'll end up choking. Okay, so you just tuck your chin in, and we're going to roll our spine down into a C curve. Okay, as far down as you want to go, and do this slowly, guys, and come up slowly, otherwise you might feel a little bit dizzy. So literally, the peach is there. I'm going to breathe in through my nose, because breathing is really important for Pilates. And then as I go down, I'm going to exhale. So we're just going down, soft knees. If you can only get to your knees, that's fine. If you want to carry on to the floor, that's fine as well. Pilates is all about you, it's individual. So now we're coming up from that C curve. This is a really good stretch for your spine. Okay, we're going to come all the way up. And then we're going to take our shoulder blades back down towards our back pockets, and we're going to breathe in through our nose, pop the peach in, and exhale as we go down. We're doing 3 of these, so 1 more, and then we're going to stay down. So let's come up slowly, roll up slowly, 1 vertebrae by 1 vertebrae. Okay, really slowly. Back pockets, breathe in and come down, and don't forget as well, holding your tummy button in towards your spine all the time during Pilates. So I will say that lots of times. Okay, now when you're down, I want you to grab your elbows, just like this, okay, and just use the weight of your arms to sort of give your back a really good stretch. If you're like me, you'll be able to feel this in the lower back. Okay, but really good for your spine. So now I want you to drop down onto your hands and knees. So, okay, down to our hands and knees. And I want you to move your bottom back towards your heels. Pop your arms in front. And if you want to, pop your forehead on the floor. Okay, now that's called child's pose. I'm hoping you'll still do in child's pose, so well done. It's child's pose, and it's a really good relaxing pose that you just come into before we start our floor exercises. Okay. On all fours, and the first thing we're going to do is cat-cow. So cat-cow again is good for your spine. It's good for moving this area here, getting some movement in your lower spine. Okay. Also good for the arms. I want your hands placed under your shoulders, and your knees under your hips, and your legs hip width apart. Okay, so we're going to bring our spine up, so round it up like a cat about to have a fight, hissing. Okay, and then we're going to drop it back down. Okay, now with your breathing, don't worry about your breathing. As long as you're breathing, it's fine. I tend to breathe in when I come up, and then out when I go down. We're going to do a couple more cat-cows. So up. Try and really arch that back, really arch it, okay? And then drop it back down and just relax it. And then 1 more up. We're going to do a little bit of balance on the mat. So what I want you to do is to lift your right hand up and pop it down, and your left arm up, straight in front of you, and pop it down, and then your right leg out at the back, so not high and not too low, just sort of parallel and kneel it down, and then your left leg out at the back. So again, not high or low, and pop it down. Now just remembering to keep your tummy button pulled in towards your spine and your shoulders relaxed. What I want you to do now is to lift up your left arm and your right leg. If you can't, just lift one or the other, okay? Because it does take a little while to get that balance. And then we're going the other side. So left leg and right arm. Woo! And during this, if you're sort of looking towards the front of your bath towel or your mat, that's great. Don't have your head up because you're just going to hurt your neck there. You need to be lengthening your neck here. So down, we can do one on either side. So left arm and right leg. And right arm and right leg. I'm just going to go back into child's pose briefly. Gosh, I can't get my words out. But I want you to walk your arms round to your left. Okay? And then stretch your right arm. Now you should now feel a really big stretch all along the arm and sort of down here, down these muscles here to the obliques at the side. Okay, so big stretch, and then walk back to the middle, and then go to the right hand side, forehead on the floor, and stretch your right arm. Okay, and hold that stretch for a couple of seconds. Can you feel that stretch, guys? Really, really, really well done. And then walk back to the middle. And then we're just going to lie on our tummy, and we're going to do baby cobra. So I want your arms at the side of you. Okay, I'm hoping that you can still see me here. My arms are just at the side of me, and I'm just going to lift up my chest. Okay, use your arms or your hands if you want, but don't push up too far. This is just for your upper back. And then you head down. And again, just be looking towards the front of your mat. Don't be tempted to lift your head up and look in front of you. And down. We're just going to do 2 more baby cobras. So I'm actually not really using my arms and hands to push me up. I'm using my core muscles. And down. It's just a little movement. And down. The side exercises. Okay. This is only a 30-minute session, and a class would normally be about an hour. So I'm just doing a few exercises that I think are really good for beginners. So you can either lie flat on your arm, or if you want to, if you find it more comfortable, pop a cushion under your head if you've got one handy, like I have. So I could pop the cushion on top of my arm and under my head, okay? Or if you want, you can pop your head up and prop it up on your arm, on your elbow, and make sure that your waist is not sinking into the mat, okay? Now, if you're lying straight and using your core muscles, keeping that tummy muscle pulled in, and you're in your neutral spine, you shouldn't really need to balance. You should be pretty balanced. You shouldn't be leaning forwards or back, but just use your hand like a tripod to give yourself a little bit of balance, okay? And what we're going to do now is we're going to do some leg kicks. So we're just going to take our top leg, point the toes, and swing it forward into like an L shape. Okay, and back. We're going to do 6 of these. 2. For the muscles down the side of your leg. Okay, good for your piriformis if you're a runner and you get problems with your piriformis. Okay, but also good for the calf muscles, because if you're pointing, you'll actually feel that you're using your calf muscles. I've lost count now, I think that's 4 or 5. Well done, guys. 6, you're halfway through your class. Okay, and now what we're going to do is some leg circles. So we're just going to lift our top leg up, and we're just going to circle it, like we did with our arms earlier. And drawing a little O, so don't do great big circles, because if you do, your whole body will move. And this really is just that you're moving from the hip. So the rest of your body the trunk of your body should be quite still. Again, make sure that your waist isn't dropping into the mat. Around and do our side exercises on the other side. So if you just swing round. Okay, so again, you can either lie flat, or you can pop a pillow there, or prop up. It's completely up to you. If you prop up, make sure that you keep that gap between your waist and your mat. Okay, so the first thing we were going to do, I need to move back a bit, is our side kicks. So make sure again that you're still in neutral, because you've changed position, so you're not leaning forwards or backwards, and you have some balance. Tummy button in towards your spine, and arm down there just for a little bit of support. So let's start off with our leg kicks. Okay, so toes pointed, we're just kicking straight out, in front, do 2, we're swinging from the hip, so you can really feel you're starting to move that hip joint there, 5. So now we're going into our leg circles. So leg up, still pointed. If you are getting a little bit of cramp, just flex your foot instead. You'll feel a slightly different muscle, but it's fine. Okay, so tiny, tiny leg circles. First of all, we're going forwards, and then we're going to go backwards. So again, you will feel this in your legs. It's really, really good for runners to strengthen and lengthen your leg muscles. Because a lot of us, when we start to run, we find we're just running and we're not doing any lengthening or strengthening exercises, and then we get injuries. So this is all about prevention. Okay, and now back. Okay, feel this in your the back of your sort of thigh and your bottom, basically. But again, you're using your oblique muscles if you're up on your arm as well, so you're lengthening whichever side you lay on, you're lengthening those obliques. Okay, so that's our circles, and now we're going to go into clam. So it's up to you whether you raise your feet or keep them on the floor. I'm going to keep them on the floor for this exercise, so just go into a bent position, like sitting down, and we're just going to open up and work our hip joint and adductor muscles, which are in your thigh here. Gosh, I can't get my words out. So let's do a few more. And then we're going to go onto our back and do a couple of exercises on our back. Okay, so maybe just a couple more. Try and make sure that your shoulders relaxed as well while you're doing this exercise. You're focusing on just opening that leg and popping it down. Keeping your tummy button pulled in, of course. So one more. I want you to lie on your back. And for some reason, I couldn't lie in this way, so I'm swinging round again here, guys. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is come into a bridge. So I'm just checking that because I've moved position, I'm back in neutral spine. So a little rock backwards and forwards. Okay, that's about it for me. Tummy button I'm pulling in towards my spine. Make sure your back is flat on the floor when you're in this position, and your legs are hip width apart, and your feet are flat on the floor. And again, just to remind yourself, big toe, little toe and heel should be pressed into the mat a little bit. Now to go up into bridge, we're not using our shoulders, our neck or our head to push us up. We're going to use our abdominal and our core muscles. If you need to dig your heels in a little bit, that's fine. Okay, so your arms should be relaxed down at your side with your palms down. Shoulders are relaxed. Okay, you're not using that part of our body. But we're just going to push up. Now just push up as far as you can, using those tummy muscles to really pull you. Just go as far as you want to go. Okay, and just sort of onto the upper back or the shoulders if you want to push up a little bit more. And then we're going to come down slowly, one vertebrae at a time. We're just doing 3 of these, and on the third bridge we're going to stay up, and you'll see why. So second bridge, going up, peeling up slowly, 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 and holding it for a few seconds. Just hold that bridge, pull your bottom in so that you're using your glute muscles and the muscles at the back of your thighs. You'll possibly feel this muscle here sort of contracting if you're pulling in. Okay, so really pull your bottom in, okay? Keep your shoulders relaxed. Gosh, there's a lot to do. You're doing really well out there. And then just peel back down, one vertebrae at a time, all the way back, down, until our back is flat. And then on the third one, when we go up, we're going to do a little exercise with our arms. So start to peel up, okay? Pulling your tummy in towards your spine because you're really working these core muscles now. Keeping your ribs pulled down as well towards your hip bones. Okay, shoulders are still pretty relaxed and you're up as far as you want to go. Now if that's sort of this far, that's fine. If you're further up, that's fine. It's individual. Okay, so I want you to take your arms now and we're going to pump our arms 30 times. So 10. And our arms here, 30. So let your arms relax back down and peel your spine down. Okay, that's really good work, guys. We're coming towards the end now. So pull your knees in just for a little bit of a lower back massage and just sort of draw an O on the mat with your lower spine, with the base of your spine, your coccyx. It's a really good, really nice massage. I'm going to go the other way now for your lower back. So now feet flat down on the mat. And we're just going to bring ourselves up in a minute, but before we do, I want you to pop your hands at the back of your head, interlace them. Still keep your legs hip width apart, elbows down, and we're just going to do some curl-ups. Now curl-ups, you're not coming up very far at all, and you are using your abdominal muscles for this for sure. So keeping your tummy button pulled in, okay, you can feel your core tighten straight away. Making sure that your back is flat on the floor and it's not raised. You don't want a gap under it here because that's going to put some strain on your lower back. And we're just going to curl up. Can you see I'm not going very far at all? And back. We're going to do 5 of these. Okay. I'm going to breathe in through my nose before I come up, and as I come up I'm exhaling. So okay. Again, I'm sort of tucking my chin in, but not all the way down. So 3. And I hold the curl up a little bit. So 4. Just hold that. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Keep pulling your tummy button in. Great work. And down. You shouldn't feel any strain on your neck with this at all. And the last one. Really holding that, and I can really feel my core muscles now. I have no strain in my neck and my shoulders are relaxed. So down. Doesn't look very much, does it, guys? But it's a great movement, that one. Okay, so as I said, Pilates is small movements, but they're working, they're doing a job. So okay, so this is our final curl up now, guys. So breathe in and then out as you come up. Now it doesn't look as though I'm up very far at all, but that's what Pilates is about. It's small movements that I can really feel in my core, that my muscles are pulling me up and holding me tight. So back down I go. Now before we come to a standing position, I want you to have a really good stretch. So I want you to stretch your legs out, stretch your arms behind you. Okay, feel as though your muscles, not your muscles, your joints are pulling away from each other. So my hand is pulling away from my wrist and my arm joints. My shoulders, my arms pulling away from my shoulders. My feet are pulling away from my lower legs, and my legs are pulling away from my hips. So really good stretch. Okay, really, really good, just for a couple of seconds. And relax. And now what I want you to do is a little bit of lateral or thoracic breathing. So what we're going to do, as we breathe in through our nose, our tummy's going to rise because we're filling our lungs with air. So breathe in, and then I want you to breathe out. And we're doing this really slowly, just 3 deep breaths. So breathe in. As you breathe out, you'll see your tummy comes back down to normal. Okay, so another one. Increase lung capacity. More of those you can do. So what we're going to do next is bring ourselves up to a sitting position, and then we're going to bring ourselves up to a standing position before we finish this class. So legs out in front of you, and I want you to bring yourself up into a sitting position. If you need to use your arms to push yourself up, that's absolutely fine. Otherwise, inhale through your nose while your head and shoulders come up, and then exhale to bring the rest of your body up. Now I tell you, I struggle with this myself, so if I don't quite manage it, it's fine. And if you don't manage it, it's fine. You've done a great job. So, and stretch out. Okay, not touching your toes, but stretch your arms alongside your ears. A really good stretch to your spine to finish off with. So then bring yourself over onto your knees. Okay, you take yourself up, tuck your toes under, bring yourself up. Okay, walk your hands back and stretch up. And then what we're going to do is just a couple of big sweeps down, and we're going to finish our class. So big sweep down and up and up, and one more and up. Bring your palms together and namaste. Thank you very much for listening, guys. It's been great, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.